Hello guys, Cameron likes anime here, and I'm gonna make my first video. And this video is gonna be about the 5 animes that changed my point of view on the genre as a whole, or just changed the way I think about anime completely. But yeah, anime is a great thing. We all love it. Everyone here that's watching this video, I'm sure, loves anime, and every person here has probably been moved by different animes and different things, and that's what I'm going to discuss today. So let's just jump right into it and talk about some different things about anime. Yay! I know you guys are all going to enjoy it because why would you watch this video otherwise? So, number one is Princess Mononoke. Great Miyazaki movie. I know a lot of you are probably going to say, oh, Miyazaki is so overhyped and da da da, this and that. And everyone knows Miyazaki and da da da. And you're right. I'm not going to lie. You guys are all right. He is super, super, super overhyped. But he is a great director. And Studio Ghibli has done a lot of great works. So you can deal with it. And this is my video. And if you want to make a video talking about how horrible Miyazaki is, go right ahead and do it. I don't care. I'll watch it if you really want me to. But anyway, there's so much to say about this anime. It's a great one. It's a really great one, and I first saw it when I was really young, arguably too young to be watching that gory and deep of a movie. I was probably about 10 years old, and I found it because of my brother who was in the anime into anime before way before me. He's 10 years older than me, 12 years older than me. I don't know how old my own brother is. I feel horrible. I'm a terrible sibling. I know. Don't tell me. Anyway, he got me into this movie, um, and I was arguably too young to watch it, but I still watched it. And I had never really consumed anything like that before. I never really watched content like that before because I was used to American cartoons that had no real depth and anything like that that had to do with them. And Princess Mononoke was a really eye-opening movie to me because it showed me how much can be done with animation and cartoons, if you want to call it. I don't really care. I'm not super bad like that. It's all good to me. I love it all. So anyway, it really just opened my eyes to how much how great anime can be and how much depth that can be put into anime and how many hidden and deep messages that can be put into it with underlying meanings. And it was just a great movie, and it really opened my eyes to the genre of anime as a whole because I was so young when I watched it. And I mean, it was a really good movie, and I really enjoyed it, and I still enjoy it to this day. It's a good one, and I'll always love that movie for the reason of opening me up to anime and showing me how great it can be. All right, number two is Ghost Stories, the dub. Before you say it, I know that a lot of you probably don't like dubbed anime, and I mean, I agree with you. Subs are much better. They get the point across much better. It's much easier to translate Japanese to English through written language, I believe. I don't know a whole lot about the language. I don't speak it very well. I'm not going to speak it on camera because I'll just embarrass myself. And I don't really know very much Japanese at all, other than simple words and phrases and stuff like that. But anyway, Ghost Stories, the dub, is a really good one. It's a really funny show. It's a really great show. It has a lot of great moments in it, and it's a great dub, and it's a great dub for a lot of the reasons that other dubs aren't so great, which is really funny to me because it's just ironic to me that that show is so funny because, excuse me, it doesn't follow the original Japanese show at all. It's a completely different show from the original Japanese show, and that's why it's so great. And it's a good one, and I discovered it when I was having a really tough time in my life, and I was really down, and it helped me forget about those bad times, and it helped me forget and just cope with everything that was happening, and it made me it helped me just keep a lighthearted mood because it was such a funny and good show, and I loved it because of that. And before you say anything else, I'm gonna say I love all these animes a lot, and you can deal with it because I do love all of these shows and movies a lot, and they're all really great shows and movies. And if you haven't checked out any of them, I definitely recommend looking at all of them. Back to the things at hand. It was a really good one, and it just opened my eyes to how great this community can be and how funny this community can be, and just how great creators can be and how open and funny and what's the word, how I can't think of the word or phrase to say this right, but it just showed me how different anime can be from any American cartoons. They're not afraid to do a lot of different things in anime that they would be afraid to do in American cartoons. And that's why I really like Ghost Stories, is because that it opened my eyes to that, and it was a great show, and I really liked watching it, and it really helped me get through a lot. All right, numero tres. If you don't know Spanish, that's number three. Is Your Lie in April. Oh, that show. This show is something else. It's a tearjerker. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's a good one. It's a really good one. It's lighthearted in the beginning and it's funny in the beginning, and then just completely takes a 180 turn, and it's a really good one. In the 22 episodes that show has aired, I probably cried 12 times watching that show, and I'm not a big crier guy. I'm not afraid to show my emotions. I'm not trying to be macho and say, "Oh, I don't cry at stuff," because I do. It's part of who I am, but I usually don't cry that much at an anime, and that show really jerked me around. It really got me right in the feels, and it's a good one, and it showed me just how emotional and how great these series can be, and the plot of that show is just absolutely great, and there's so much that goes into it and so many different stories and arcs and character arcs, and it's a great show. If you haven't checked it out, again, I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix in America, and it's subbed too if you don't like dubs, which I'm sure a lot of you don't, because no one likes dubs. Let's be honest, only people who don't like dubs are people who don't really like anime that much. I'm kind of an elitist that way, but anyway, let's not go there today. Um, it just opened my eyes to how much emotion can be poured into these shows and how much these creators put into these shows, and it was a great one, and I really loved it for that. Coffee, sorry, excuse me. All right, four. Number four is Initial D. Doesn't really fit in this list very much, but you can deal with it because this is my list. And again, like I said before, if you don't like it, go make your own list. And I will watch that and see what you have to say about different animes. But anyway, this is one of the first animes that I got overly into, and I binge watched this anime. The first stage, there's five stages, five, not four, sorry, five stages, and I religiously watched the first stage in about 7 hours, and I didn't realize there was four other stages to watch until about 4 months later. But anyway, it's a great anime again, and I couldn't get enough of this anime. It really opened my eyes to the diversity of anime and how many different shows and movies there are with different plots and just different things that go into it. And it also opened my eyes to how deep and convoluted, I guess you can say, animes can be, and how there's just way more going on than other TV and other cultures. It's not a simple genre, and it's not for the faint of heart. It's a really good genre, and I love it. And I'm really in love. I'm also really in love with Japanese car culture and Japanese cars and all that. And if you don't know, Initial D is about Japanese street racing in the 90s, which is kind of corny, it sounds like, but it's a really good show, and they did it super well. And it's not corny at all. I mean, it's a little bit corny at times, but it's a really great show. And it really opened my eyes to the different things that can go into anime, and that there's probably an anime for anything out there that you want to watch. There's animes for tennis and swimming and Yuri on Ice. Like there's so many different things to be watched out there, and that's why I love anime, is because it's so diverse and it's just so great, and I love it. And Initial D is definitely one of my favorite animes. So I had to put it on this list, even though this isn't a list of my favorite animes. It's just animes that changed my opinion on the genre. But anyway, let's get on with it. Number 5 and final. By the way, this isn't any order or anything. It's not like top 5 animes that I love or anything like that. It's definitely just 5 animes that helped form my opinions on the genre. But anyway, number 5, Cowboy Bebop. Um, it's a great one. Cowboy Bebop is one of the greats of anime. It's one of the animes that I'm sure everyone of you guys that's watching has seen, and if you haven't, you definitely need to go check it out. I know I've said that all 5 shows, but deal with it again. They're all great shows on this list, and they all have their own redeeming features and qualities. And yeah, Cowboy Bebop is a really great one. This show has great character growth, great character structure. The characters are just amazing. Everything about this show is amazing. The universe that it's set in is amazing. It's so deep. There's so much happening. Even the animation and the art in this show is amazing. But I mean, most of the shows on this list have really amazing art and animation and all that good stuff, and music. That's another thing about Cowboy Bebop. It has a great track. It's a really great track, and it's just a great show in general. And it really, really made me realize not to judge books by their covers or people by their covers or just by what you know offhand. It really changed my thinking in that way, because when I first saw that anime, I looked at the name and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to like that. I'm not going to watch that. That sounds stupid. And that's another anime that I first found because of my brother. He had it on his shelf, and that's when I first saw it. And I was like, oh, that's stupid. That's going to be dumb. So I didn't give it a chance. And when I finally watched it like 10 years later, I was like, oh my God, how stupid can I be that I didn't give it a shot? I could have missed out on this great piece of art because I'm an idiot and I'm not willing to give things chances because I don't think I'll like them. It's like, no. And that's why that's a great show to me, and that's how it changed my opinions, because it just made me realize how ignorant I can be and how much that I should just not judge things without knowing anything about them or without knowing what they're all about. And it's like, yeah, you can miss out so much on in life because of that, and it's really sad, and people really shouldn't do that. They should give things shots before they say no to it. And yeah, that's why I like Cowboy Bebop. Well, there's my list. That's all the shows that have really changed me in many different ways, and I love them all very much for that. And I'll always love those shows and movies. Well, I think there's only one movie on the list. Let me Yeah, there's only one movie on the list. The rest are shows. I should have known that. But yeah. And if I was like looking down or not looking at the camera, I'm sorry. I was kind of reading off of a loosely written script about this because that's a lot of information to go through with it just coming out of my head. I kind of had I kind of had to read off of a list of things that I wrote down beforehand because I couldn't have talked for 15 minutes about these shows without doing that. But anyway, I'm just so glad that I discovered this community and all of these animes and all of the other animes that I watch because they've all changed my life so much and they've changed the way I think and the way I feel and how I compose myself and all these different things. And I'm just really glad that I can be a part of this community that we're all part of and that we all love so much. And I'm really proud to be able to call myself an otaku because that's the proper term, not a weeb. If you don't know what a weeb is, you should go look it up. I'm not going to tell you. You can find that out for yourself. But anyway, I'm so proud to be able to call myself an otaku, and I'm really proud to be part of this anime community that's just so great and has so much to offer. And yeah, that was my first video, guys. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you like my opinions. If you don't, you can get shoved. And feel free to stick around and tell me what you thought about it if you want to. And let me know what your thoughts are on this subject and what animes have changed your thoughts and opinions on the genre. And I hope you guys all have a great day. Never stop loving yourself or anime. Bye bye.